Okay. Now we're good. Had to restart OBS. The mic wasn't working at the moment. We're good now.
Okay.
There we go.
Now we're good.
Okay, now I can turn that crap off, and we are good. So, I have another shot that I'm going to start. The audio, turns out I can wear my headphones because the audio from the desktop goes through and into OBS, which is pretty awesome. It also means that I can turn this shit down because it is pretty loud, and I turned it up pretty loud just so that I could see it. So, the set that I'm using was built by one of the students in the school. Maybe I shouldn't say names, just in case. Haven't talked to him yet. Anyways, the set was built by him, and the character is Adventure by Kyle Figgins. Again, I hope I'm saying his name correctly. I was watching an episode of Game Grumps today, and I've wanted to animate one of their audio pieces for a while now. Because, frankly, they have a lot of good dialogue. I was looking for something that basically has two different moods. It starts off one way, ends in another. Now, the audio clip that I have is fairly long, and I am going to be using all of it at some point.
Ooh,
no, fuck off! Sorry. There we go. The video clip that I want, or sorry, the audio clip that I want to use is actually fairly long. But I'm just going to be doing a piece of it for this. I have not shot any reference. I know exactly what I want to do. I am going to be shooting reference for it, but I don't have any yet. I'm going to get just the main poses in tonight, and I'm going to push the expressions. What I tend to do even when I'm doing my own shots at work is I'll just do the facial expressions, raise it up a little bit. Who knows? At the moment, sorry, still getting over that cold. At the moment, this is where the camera's going to sit. This is the idea. This is the framing I want. But again, as soon as I start posing out the character, it's going to come out a little bit. I also have a couple ideas of how I want to do this part, where he says, "Open the case, Karen." I really want to push the camera up on his face, kind of like the Ren and Stimpy type shit, where they get really close in the face and the details, like you see all the lines in the face and all that. Given with this character, it's not going to happen because look at the rig. Like, you can't really do that with this rig and the textures that are given. So I'm going to have to find a way to push that. And then here, I'm going to pull back, probably to here, maybe a little further back, and I'm going to see him. There isn't going to be any other characters in this shot. This is strictly just to try animating something that's an acting shot, not an action like my last one. So I'm going to try animating something that is an acting shot, and I'm going to try and do it like this with this character. Typically, if you have audio, you want to make sure it matches your character's voice. I'm close. At least I can sort of see that voice in this character, but I'm really going to have to push the facial expressions. If you're curious, though, this is the whole audio. I'll show you the whole audio piece. It is... This is the whole clip. I'm only going to play this once.
Okay.
Anyway, open the case.
Yay,
$50,
Veronica,
yay!
you're the best. I'm glad you came back from the dead after that car accident.
Yay! Okay, so this is good.
Yeah, we're in an okay spot, I guess. I'm gonna go
21. She's got a sexy haircut.
Come on, but yeah, she does. I like that bob. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I
Ooh,
know
that
you do.
bob.
Yeah, I know you do.
Open the case, Karen. Woo! Woo! Karen, you're my girl. Yo, 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 yo.
Proud of us. Proud of us.
That bob don't lie. Dog, yo, if I went fishing with that bob, shit, I catch a bass. I mean bass.
I just mysteriously got a call from our shitty scumbag banker.
Uh-huh. Okay. He's not offering anything.
He's foreclosed on your house.
Yeah. He's completely disinterested in the situation. Why is your head so large?
Ooh.
66,900.
Dude, no deal. No deal until we get 6 figures.
So that's the whole audio clip. Obviously, I'm not going to use the whole thing. That would be crazy. I do have 18 seconds I am going to use from it. And so yeah. Anyways, this is a shot that I'm going to be working on. So basically, the first thing that I need to do is well, you know, I already did part of it because I didn't want to waste time doing the obvious shit. But the first thing that you want to do is get your set in. I hid a bunch of stuff that doesn't need to be seen. It'll bog down the scene if I have it in there, and that's all of it. So I hid a bunch of that. It'll speed up the shot a little. I place my character where I want him. I also tend to keep, when I'm doing my own personal shots, you can't do this all the time if you're working in a studio. I moved the set. In a studio, you should never move the set, ever. It screws with the lighting, but considering I'm going to be doing the lighting myself in this, it doesn't matter at all. So I like to keep my camera and my character close to the origin. Main reason, if I need to bring in any proxies or any new cameras or any assets, it's right there. I don't need to zoom all the way out, go way over here, and then pull it in. Normally that would be because of the person who modeled it. They basically fucked up. But in this case, because it was one of my buddies who modeled it, I don't have to worry about that. So, first things first, I need to get my first pose in there. Now, I already know what my first pose is, and I really do apologize about all the clearing my throat and everything. Talking is going to do this. I am drinking tea. Hopefully that helps.
Open the case, Karen.
So, I need to get the pose in for him saying, "Open the case, Karen." And I really, like I said, I want to push this pose so that there's a lot of facial expression in there, and that he's really, really, like, being creepy about it, because I want that. I want him to be creepy, like he's staring somebody down at the moment. So, get him as close as you can in this particular set with his move all. You technically should never move the move all. This character has two. So it has this one right there, which is called the Animating Adventure Control Adventure, blah, 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 blah. It's basically the world move all. You don't want to move that, because if you ever do need to move your character and this thing has animation on it, you're screwed. So you need to make sure that you leave this one alone and that you always have this one that you can move around. That way, if you need to say, okay, I need to shift everything to the right, you can shift it to the right, and if there's animation on this, it's not going to screw anything up. So, that being said, I'm going to start posing out my character for this first piece. I'm not going to worry about what's in camera at the moment, because like I said, the camera's not set in stone. That's the idea. Now, what I wanted was him like really leaning over this railing. So both of his hands are on the railing, and he's leaning over it, and he says, "Open the case, open the case, Karen." So like his elbow or his forearms are on it. He's got his fists up. Maybe I might change that pose, but he's really leaning into it, and his shoulders are up near his head. Believe it or not, I am actually doing this while I am talking about it. So, let's hide a bunch of things that I don't need, like this backpack. I'm just going to drop it through the ground because we don't need that at the moment. I am going to keep that bag because the bag will be nice for secondary. I have not used this rig yet, just in case anybody hasn't figured that out yet. I have not touched this rig. This is the first time that I'm using it, so this is going to be very interesting. Alright, so get his COG close-ish, rotate it. Let's hope we don't run into any issues while I'm doing this, and get his chest down. And I want to reach his neck forward. I think that's the neck control. One of the biggest reasons that I'm using Kyle's rigs is that I like the way he built. Everything is simple. There's very little controls, which I'm 50-50 on. I don't like the fact that there's very little, but at the same time I love it because it means I don't have to worry about as many controls, but it also means that I can't get some really, really nice poses on the character with them. Right now I'm looking for an eye control, but it looks like, great. It looks like the only way that I can animate his eyes is with these two right here. So I'm just going to get a general eye direction on him, raise those up so he's looking up underneath. And again, I want it creepy, so he's going to be looking under his eyebrows. I'm not going to worry about any of the big rotates. Get his hands close. Now, like I said, I wanted those forearms on there, so I'm going to bring those arms in. So one of the things that I get asked a lot, actually, that is a complete and utter lie, so I'm going to rephrase that. One of the things that I wish I got asked a lot from students that I teach at the school, how do you know when your hand should be IK and when they should be FK? So basically what I tell them when they do ask, if they do ask, is this. My rule for IK/FK, because this will be different from animator to animator, but we're all generally the same, usually. IK is when you're contacting something. IK is when you need to be able to move the body around like this and you want the arms to stay still. That is when you use IK. IK is also good for when you're pointing at somebody. The only reason I say that is because if you want your hand to come flying towards camera and point at somebody and you want to have animation on the body, the last thing you want is for your arm to be moving around. Given most controllers now, characters and controllers have follow turned on or off. And with the follow, that means that you can still animate the body and the arm will follow it, but it's not going to follow the rotate, so it won't be all crazy like it. So the rule for me for IK is that if you don't want to move the arms and the hands, but you still want to move the body around, use IK. If you're contacting something, like you're resting your body on something, basically you're going to put your hand on a table and rest on it, your hand should be an IK, shouldn't be an FK, because you have to counter animate. Simplest way to say it, if you ever need to counter animate your arms, then you're doing it wrong. Unless you're doing huge breakdowns, and in that case, do whatever the hell you want. So, I'm going to get the arms close to where I want them. The way that I'm doing it, my elbows are out. Let's see. What was the audio?
From the case.
Oh, from the case, Karen. So, right now I've got my elbows pointed out. Basically the same as what he's doing. Let's get those elbows out a little bit further. Again, I like to act all my... Or I don't like to. I act all of my stuff out while I'm doing it. That is not all the time. There is the odd time that I won't actually act it out, and the only reason being is because I've done it so many frickin' times, I don't need to anymore. Because it's just normal. It's like, oh, the character's just taking a sidestep. I know how that would work. The only time that I would act that out is if it was doing a sidestep and, I don't know, he was like turning at the same time, possibly, maybe. If it was a little more complicated than it should be, then I would do it. Let's get some poses on his fingers. On the Deadpool one, I didn't spend a lot of time on the fingers. I basically just posed them out. The last thing I wanted people to be watching was me animating his fingers. It's not something that's fun to watch, because with this particular character, their hands are a bit of a pain in the ass. As you can see, it's all on a slider. And personally, I hate that. I'm going to talk to the guy who built the rig and see if... Oh my god, he did. Holy crap. How did I not see this before? Oh man, that would speed up so much. I would never have to select the other things again. Oh, my life is so much better now. Okay, basically, these are how I like to do it. Because this way, now I can select each individual hand if I want to. I don't need to go to those frickin' sliders anymore. Some people probably love the sliders. I personally hate them. I just want to be able to do this. Grab the fingers, rotate them in. Again, this should be a hell of a lot easier than it is, but once you pose them once, you don't have to worry about it again. It's pretty much just done. His fingers are hilarious. Get that nice crunch on the hand. Get some more rotate on that finger. There is a way to mirror with A tools. I have not yet figured out how to do that. The day that I do, I will do it and I will show everybody, because mirroring would be beautiful right about now. Because then I wouldn't have to pose the other hand out. I will try it, actually, once I turn this thumb on. I'll save, and then I'll try it out, and we'll see what happens. God, I love this guy's hand. It's hilarious. It looks like a little doll. There we go. Alright, let's just rotate that hand up. Okay, he's already starting to look creepy. Let's follow the line of action, though, that he's got going. Alright, so, save the shot. Let's see if I can get the mirror to work. Alright, so, select the whole hand. Let's make a selector for this afterwards as well. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm pretty sure I'm missing one, but that might be all of them. Okay, so right hand, make that one purple. Let's see, the mirror is right there. And we'll go, let's just click it and see what happens. Nothing. Well, let's try. Oh. Invert rules, mirror object, translate, nope. Let's go. Rotate, 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 rotate. There we go. Click it. Nope. Deselect it maybe? Right hand. Shit. Oh, I think I see what happens. Holy shit, that's cool. Okay, well, I figured out how the mirror works, and that's hilarious. So basically for next time, there we go. Next time I do that, I just need to animate them at the same time. Neat. Okay. Well, now I have to pose out this hand. That won't take long. Rotate that in, rotate that in. Like I said, it's just one good strong pose on the hand, and that should be good. Given these aren't exactly the strongest of poses, because I am just doing them quick and dirty. Just for now, just to get my blocking in. See if the idea that I want to do actually works. So there are a couple phases to animation. There is a layout pass. The names change every once in a while depending on where you work. Generally though, it is always the exact same thing. So right now what I am going to be doing is a layout pass. And layout pass is just quickly for myself blocking in what the character is going to be doing. So just getting a couple poses in there, getting the idea across. That way when I actually do animate or come up with a solid idea, I've got all my poses. And then if I need to change something, it's very easy to change it because I've only got like 7 poses in there. So let's get that arm down back a little bit so they're a little bit different. Because again, we don't want twinning. Okay, so I can have one hand rotated in like this, one hand rotated in like that. Let's bring it up a little bit more. I still haven't touched his shoulders, which means I'm going to have to adjust those hands again. So let's rotate those shoulders up, because that was one of the things that I was doing. Rotate them back as well. Let's pull that shoulder out, actually. Because it's a pose, I can get away with breaking the rig a little bit. So again, that's what we'll do. I'll break the rig a little bit more here. The one thing I'm not enjoying about this character's shoulders, though, I want that divot. I'm not getting it, and I think it's because of his toque. Let's see. Grab both of those. Rotate them back a little bit more. There we go. Alright, we're getting close. I can probably bring his COG down a little bit more. That way I get his arms on top of that friggin' railing. Bring that one in a little bit. I can probably bring him forward a little bit more. You know, the more that I pose this out, the more I think this idea of what I want him to be doing may or may not work with his hands. I might actually have to do something different with his hands. Like one hand can be in a fist, resting on the thing, and the other hand can be resting, actually planted, maybe. Or I want this creepy-ish. Let's go to the camera. When I push in on him, it could work. I'm not going to have this too long either. I'm probably going to go another half hour. We'll see. Just get a couple poses in there. And speaking of a couple poses, I should probably drop a key on this character. So let's just grab all of his stuff, except for his face. Don't want to have any of his face in there yet. I'll have a select all for his face. Deselect that, deselect that, and deselect his staff. And we'll go adventure all. Don't have to call him adventurer, but I am. And let's key him just for the sake of actually having a key and Maya crashing and, you know, being a pain in the ass. So far, I'm kind of leaning on getting this hand really holding on to that ledge. So what I'm going to do actually is reset the fingers. I'm going to bring this one back. This also means that the rotation on my chest is going to change. Again, this is why you start simple. You should also start with friggin' reference, but I didn't want to shoot my reference tonight, and I just kind of wanted to go nuts and do this. Plus, I'll pay for it in the end when I'm trying to animate it and things aren't making sense. I'm like, oh, you know, it would make sense if I did my reference. Oh, his thumb is disgusting. But his fingers are coming along. Really want to have him digging into that wood. We've got to reset these. It's like he's digging into that wood, like he's really telling her, like, open that briefcase, Karen.
Case Karen. Open case Karen.
Yep. And anybody who follows this animated series that I'm going to be doing of this character in this shot, be prepared to learn how to tune out sound. There's a special skill that animators acquire, and it is you learn how to kind of tune out sound. You can tune out people actually after a while. It's kind of nice, but hearing the same audio all day long, it gets you after a while, to the point where you'll actually start to just not hear the audio anymore. You can sort of tune it out. It's very strange how it works, but it does. And any animator out there will tell you the exact same thing. It's strange, but it works. You just stop hearing it, which is nice, because if you ever have a kid and a kid is screaming its face off, there's a good chance you're not going to hear it if you're an animator. You can just tune it out. Be like, yeah, whatever. And then getting shit from your wife because you're ignoring the baby. And then your marriage ends. And then you're like, well, at least I'm still an animator. I can still tune out sound. Meanwhile, your place is on fire. People are screaming and running around, and you're just sitting there on your computer. Let's get that finger to actually touch after I bring the hand back. Get that up a little bit more. Bring that back. Bring that thumb down. Oh, wrong controller. There we go. I should probably exaggerate this thumb. I'm at the point now where I'm not half-assing my hand poses. I'm really trying to sell them. One thing that's making it a little bit difficult though with this character is I like him a lot, but his hands are very meh. Let's see if this is in proxy or something. Mesh smooth, can't even touch that. Scale amount, visibility. Now there's not much. It looks like that is the nicest those hands will be. Well then. Alright. So we'll just keep going on that hand. Rotate it in maybe a little bit. Get some crazy on it. Get that thumb touching. There we go. Really hope you don't tune out the kids when they need you. No, that'll just be you. finger out. Get that finger out. I don't want them crashing. This is one of my main poses. You shouldn't have any crashes on your mains. Because if I ever decide to go back and, or if I ever do decide that this pose is the one that I'm going to keep, and I didn't fix the crashing, then I'm not going to notice. And then I have crashing everywhere. That probably could have been worded way better. Let's just get that one down more. I'm trying to get the fingers not so even. And it's proving to be difficult with how round these fingers are. It's not easy to get this claw shape that I'm trying to get out of his hand. But it is slowly getting there. And in a couple of seconds I'm going to stop touching his hand. Just get that final one on there. Whatever, that'll work for now. Alright, so one thing, notice my body is rotated the wrong way. Needs to be... Ooh, is that the right controller? Yes, it is. Needs to be rotated this way. Let's see. Yep, that one should be the one that's up the highest. I'm actually going to reset my shoulders just so that I can pose them out the way that they should be properly. I'm going to bring this one up a little bit higher. Bring it out a little bit more. Bring this one up a little bit. Get this elbow in just a tiny bit more. No, guess not. You're going to come out here and get this elbow up. There we go. So I've got my line of action that I've been trying to get this way. All it took was that bloody frickin' elbow. Alright, so got the elbow out. I'm actually going to work on the face on this pose. Because this is one of the biggest... Hold on. Oh god, tea with glutamine in it. Because my chest has been sore all day from doing calisthenics. I do not recommend calisthenics to anybody. It is the worst thing in the world. Now there's a camera on this. Nope, that is not the one that I wanted. So we're going to go back to perspective view. I need to pose out his face. Now I think at one point I'm going to set up a camera specifically for this right here. That way I don't have to keep jumping back and forth. And I'm going to lock it in the rotate so I can only move up and down inside that camera. Because this is a bit of a pain in the ass to have to go here to pose out this. There's probably a way. Huh, that's cool. Ooh, maybe that'll change the way the eyes move. No, it does not. So, that was awesome. Unless that does. Let's see. Like, give him an eye control? Nope. Lame. Alright. So, I'm going to pose out his face. I'm going to try and get that creepy factor to it. So, this is the first time I'm using his face. Let's find out what these controllers do. Those are his cheeks. Alright. Let's find... That must be lower lids. So we can bring those lower lids up. He's going to be squinting. Oh, I guess there's a limit. Okay, so we get him up as high as we can then, basically. He is going to be squinting in this shot. Because like I said, I want this super creepy face. I want to get those eyebrows down. So with the eyebrows, I start with both. There are these individual controls that I can see. And I'm not going to start pulling these down by themselves. I'm going to pull the whole eyebrow down at once, and then I'm going to start posing those out. Get the main pose first. Again, what is the audio? No! Did I just lose everything? No, okay, good, I didn't. So let's just copy that back. Delete that key. There we go. Whew. Open the case. So I really want to push. Can I rotate these? I can. Do I want to? Probably not. So what I'm actually going to do is grab these controllers and I'm going to push them down more. Can I rotate these? Because that's ugly as hell. What do these do? Well, it beats the shit out of me. What about that? Oh, that's his ears. Okay, now I know. What about this? Hairline. Oh, that could be useful, actually. Oh, so could that. That is very useful. So far, this rig is not too bad, actually. What do you do? Bridge of the nose? That could be useful if you got punched in the face. Okay. Now, for this facial expression, my eyebrows seem to be, let's see, I'm going to open this up on my phone, look at the camera, turn it around actually so I can actually see my face. Boop. Nope. Fucking camera, turn around. Okay, so they're pointed down. Alright, so what I am going to do is I'm going to grab the camera, I'm going to key it, I'm going to shift it back one frame, I'm going to go back to this one, and I'm going to zoom in on his face, and I'm going to get that creepy camera move that I want. Hold on, let's select his head. So I'm actually moving around this way. Get the camera angle that I want, so I'm super close in there. There we go. And now let's pose out his face the way I want it. Because this is the camera view that I want in the beginning. I'm going to pull out a little bit as he's saying it. So, rotate both of these down, because in the camera that I did to myself, these were pointed down. Let's see what we can do with these end ones. Not a fan of these eyebrows. The hooks at the end, it could be useful though, in some other poses. That looks a little too broken. One thing that I'm not a fan of is that these eyebrows seem a little narrow to me. Or not narrow, or too far apart. I feel like they should be closer. Let's reset those again and see what happens. Rotate them down, bring them down. What if I go back into object and push them in and back up in Y and bring this guy down even more? Pull out the camera a little bit. Get rid of that face, or not the face, sorry. The face. No, we need to get his mouth pose in there. Alright. I'm not entirely happy with the eyes, but I will work on them a little bit more. I gotta learn this rig a little bit better so I can pull that up higher. I really wish I could pull these up more. I might have to do it with the head though, by pulling the head up a little bit more, and then just... There we go, pull up a little bit in that camera. There we go. So now I can take the eyes and drop them down. Which means I can take these and drop them down a little bit more. Or I can go for crazy eyes. Raise those up really high. Bring those up a little bit more. This face is proving difficult. It's not the pose, it's the character's face. Maybe if I get the mouth in there, it'll help. So with the mouth, I do both corners at the same time. Let's just find out what these do all together. Okay, so that is really freaking cool. I am a huge fan of how this mouth works. Holy shit. Alright, so I want to bring the whole mouth over. Rotate it up a little bit, bring it up a little bit too. That is crazy how nice that mouth is. What does this do? Oh, that's the lip roll. That's nice. That must be the bottom lip roll. This must be... Huh, no idea. Don't know what that does. Wish I knew. I truly don't. Alright. And this one, no idea. Might have something to do with clothes. No idea. And, ooh, that's not bad. That could be handy. Let's try pulling that one over a little bit. Actually, no, let's not screw with that one. Okay, so basically for this guy's face, after I figure out what that does with the cheek, that's also a cheek. I can do those afterwards. I need to pull the corners of the mouth out and up, deselect one, and do more on the other side. I want to show those teeth, if that's even the teeth control. Let's find out which one is the teeth. So that pulls up those two. Let's try pulling up all three. How about these two? Again, because of the way that I have this character angled, I might have to pull these up more, because if you look at it here, a lot more of his teeth are showing. Like if I actually look at the front view of his face, it's a lot more of the teeth showing. It's actually exactly what I want, but in this angle, it doesn't look like it. So that's why we don't pose to perspective. You actually pose to the camera. So let's see. What does this do? Oh, that's not bad for puffing. I kind of dig that. Let's pull this one up a little bit. We're going to pull this one up a little bit. And I need to get more of this showing. Maybe a little less. No, let's reset those actually. Now that I know what most of the controllers do, I can reset these. And once I reset them, I can come up with a nicer way to do it. Turns out I might actually just want the mouth closed. Mayhaps.
The case. Open the case.
Actually, the way that I'm picturing it now, he has no facial expression. He is deadpan. Let's just put that back to normal then. Let's get right in on his face. Make it as creepy as possible. There, do something with that. Let's see. Again, this is just a lot of work on just his face, and I apologize for that, but I really want to sell this pose. So what I can try and do is a lot of screwery with this. Messing around with these controllers. Pull that down a little bit more. I don't want them too even. If they're too even, it'll look weird. I'm actually going to key him there, and I'm going to grab just his facial panel, and I'm going to add a key on face all. There we go. And key that one at 160. What I'm going to do is I'm going to key the camera there. I'm going to jump to the next pose.
Open the case.
I'm going to key him here and here.
Open the case, Karen.
And I'm going to go to his next pose. Now, I'm going to grab the camera from where I originally had it. Oops, and slide all of those out to there. Whew, he looks creepy from a distance. What I'm also going to do is I actually have my focal length animated here as well. So I'm going to maybe bring this up higher to a 75. I'm going to pull that back more. That actually looks better at a 75. And I'm going to key that at the 75. And we're going to go to here, and we're going to change that to 45. I'm going to key all of that. And key that one there. So
Open the case, Karen.
I'm actually going to do something with the camera that I probably shouldn't do. I'm going to pull out a little bit here so we see him doing that move.
Open the case, Karen.
Let's put it into auto.
Open the case, Karen.
No, we're going to key the focal length the same as the last one.
Open the case, Karen.
There we go. That's what we're going to do.
Case, Karen.
Put that into auto tangent.
Open the case, Karen.
We're going to put this into linear so it's constantly moving back. And here what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to push in just a little bit more. Let's undo that. There we go. I'm going to copy the previous camera key. This is just an idea. Copy the previous. It's not working for some reason. Oh, I still have focal length. That's why. Duh. This is what happens when I'm animating at the end of the night. I'm actually going to push in a little bit. I'm going to move that here. And pull back really fast. There we go. There's my camera move.
Open the case, Karen. Karen! Open the case, Karen.
There we go. And that can actually be a little bit faster. So let's get that camera just a little bit quicker. Move you there. Let's see how that feels.
Open the case, Karen.
One more frame of boring shit, and I apologize for that.
Open the case, Karen.
There we go. Now I want to get my next pose in there. Is whoa! And this one is going to be a lot with the body, or I should probably rephrase this. He's not going to change his pose quite yet. I'm going to keep him in this pose, and then he's going to jump up into another one. But this pose is going to be different. So it is going to be a pose within a pose. So he's going to pull back, basically. His COG, and anybody who is watching this will notice that I'm animating the COG first. Biggest thing. Always has to be, in my opinion, always the COG first. Rotate that up. Ooh, you know what? I'm not going to hit reset on that because sometimes it does. Let's see if it does anything weird. No, it doesn't actually. What I am going to reset though is the space. And I am going to keep his eye direction the same. So as our eye direction stays looking forward, I'm going to get his eyes bigger. So he's like super excited. There we go. Bring those up. Get the eyebrows in there a little bit. That is way too high. Holy shit, I didn't know they could do that. Nope, not rotating those. We'll just use these. Holy cow, I didn't know those could do that. That's craziness. Bring those ones up a little bit more. No. Okay, well, using tweezers then, because that's ridiculous. There we go, got a little bit more in there. I actually am going to rotate these. I'm going to go against my own rule. There, that looks better. Let's see if the pupils have a little bit in them. No, they don't. What about here? Nope. I cannot change the size of the pupils unless I can do it with this. Let's see. Nope. What about that? Nope. 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 Fun. Extras? Nope. Well, that is way too many controls that I don't want to play with. And I'm just going to open his mouth. That is not his mouth. Which one is his mouth control? Huh, this would be a nice one to know. Just rotate? Huh, this would be... I would love to know which one is for moving his jaw around. Like, you know, opening the mouth. Huh. Well, this is ridiculous. Weird. Am I just crazy? Or is it not actually there? Or is it this? It better not be fucking this. What is going on? Why are his lips following? Oof, that is just weird. Sticky jaw head. Let's turn that off. Do I have to move those up? All of them? Are you shitting me? I'm confused. I'm so confused. Okay. Now, if I bring this down... Oh man, something is just messed up. Whatever. Let's just bring those out and up. Get him in a smile. Rotate that mouth out. I could probably push this way further. Push that. Raise that more because this is just getting weird. Bring the whole mouth up. Let's see, what happens if I do... that. Maybe it's a channel in the channel box. It very well could be. I'll play with it more next time I'm just playing with it. Right now I'm just going to try and get something that works. I want to really, really play with his pupils. That's the one thing that's bugging the shit out of me that I should be able to do that I can't. See if I can bring these up a little bit higher. Ooh, that's not the right direction. Holy shit. Dear God. Let's just key that and get his pose figured out. Rotate his shoulders down. That hand, I just acted this out. Should probably come up. It'll slide back a little bit. That elbow will probably come down. This shoulder will come up. This one will come up. And since we're resting on this one, wow, his hand should open up. Excuse me. Come down a little bit. I made one for the right hand and I didn't for the left. Big mistake. Let's see, does this have any keys on it? No animation. That means the hands are just like that. Okay, gotta reset the thumbs. Gotta reset these guys. I'm gonna add those to his right hand. I don't add the thumb, because the thumb typically I'll just leave it in its own little pose. It's a really bad habit, but I'll usually just curl it up and leave it there. I need to make one for these fingers. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yes, I can count. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. There we go. And we'll go left hand. And I named that wrong. Add a D at the end. Rename D. There we go. Left hand. Let's reset that. There we go. His pose is already looking way better. Alright, so we've got... Move that here. Grab his face. Move that here. So we've got... And now is where... I'm going to key that. Now I'm going to go into where his next pose should be. So I'm going to reset his COG. I'm going to reset his chest. I'm going to reset his shoulders. And this is going to be the last pose that I do. I'm not going to touch his face. I'm going to leave his face alone. I'm going to take his hands. I'm going to take them out of IK and put them into FK. There is an IK-FK swap in this. I don't know how it works quite yet. Let's see. I'll figure it out, and then I'll fix it next time. This is going to be the last post that I do anyway, so it's not too big of a deal to me, because I can always just go back and fix the damn thing. So, key 'em. And let's see. Raise that one hand up in the air, maybe. I need to show his IK controls. View IK, or no, turn off IK controls, view FK controls. There we go. I only know that because of the last rig that I worked with his. And I reset the shoulders already. So, let us see what I'm gonna do. Let's bring his COG to the left. I'm not going to worry about his hips just yet. I just want to get that pose in there. I'm going to rotate him to the right so that I can rotate this to the left to get my line of action in there. I'm going to rotate that forward. I should probably get some rotation on his chest, or on his COG actually. Rotate his head so it's following the same thing. I need to make sure his eyes are still looking where he was originally. There we go. Getting there. Let's raise this arm up. Get that shoulder up in there. Get that up in there. That one. The more that I pose this, the more I think that what I should actually do is keep this hand in IK. View IK controls, view FK controls, and actually do something along the lines of this. Where this hand, what was it doing over here? It was resting. Just rotate it down and get them kind of like on top of it. You know, like a kid at SeaWorld where they're like over top of the railing, kind of really leaning over it. Maybe that'll work better. Yeah, see already that's looking way better. It's different. It also doesn't help that one of the poses that a lot of my students will make in class when I tell them to show a character excited is they'll just raise the bloody arm up and they'll be like, yeah, like I did. So I totally did something that I hate more than anything. Isn't that awesome? Alright, so we can take that. Let's see what happens if I pull that shoulder out. Let's try not translating it actually for now. I need to get the hips in there a little bit more. Animating the hips will actually give me a nicer line of action throughout the body. That's rotated this way, the hip should be that way. I'm actually going to get the feet involved a little bit eventually. Right now I'm not too concerned. You don't see the feet, but I would like to have them actually posed just a little bit. Pull that out a little. This one we need to be up on that toe. I think it was toe roll. Oh, there we go, toe roll. This one, same thing, toe roll. Get that knee correct, and that knee a little bit more correct. I want to get him more over top of that railing, like he's really up against it. This might not even work for the pose or for the audio, but I like the pose. So if it doesn't, again, this is just layout. It's not a big deal. I can just fix it. Go back to something different. Alright. Get that hand pressed up against the thing. Shouldn't be flat actually. Now that I look at it, it should be rotated out a little, or brought out a little bit more. Pull it out more. Up higher. Right about there. And now I can start to pull those fingers in. Cookies. Let's see what happens if I copy the previous one. No. Right hand. Copy the previous. What the hell was I doing in the last pose? Oh, that. Okay, well, guess I can't do that. Gonna have to actually pose the bloody hand. Let's actually bring that in. That's actually making the thumb look weaker. That I'm gonna have to reference out what he should be doing with that one. And I'm gonna have to reference out a couple more of these poses actually, especially the action where he screams at the top of his lungs. I have a good idea of what I'm gonna do with it, but it doesn't hurt to reference it either. Alright, bring that out a little bit more. Let's see these ugly fingers. Again, love the rig. The fingers I'm not too fond of. Whew. It's getting warm in here. That means it's time to quit soon. Alright, so close. This hand is super broken. Let's fix that. I'm gonna have to find a way to deform his arm because I don't like this, what it's doing right here. So I'm gonna have to find a way to deform that. There are probably arm controllers in there somewhere that I can use, and when I find them, I will definitely be using them to make that pose look a hell of a lot better. And let's just try and get a nicer, cleaner line of action throughout there. There we go. Let's see what we got.
Open the case, Karen. Woo! Woo! Karen! Open.
Now there's a clap.
Woo! Woo! Karen! Open the case, Karen. Woo! Woo! Karen! Open the case, Karen. Woo! Woo! Karen! Open the case, Karen.
Right?
Woo! Woo! Karen!
That means I'm gonna have to have him clapping, or what I can do instead is this actually. Oh, this will be really easy to do. Hold on a sec. I can do this in a second. I can rotate him on top of this thing. I'll bring his legs up all goofy like. Let's just do this real quick, because I'm actually kind of excited about this pose now. Bring his legs out. Translate control. He's really up on top of there. I don't know why I'm so excited about this. I think just the idea of it is what is exciting me. Bring that leg. Again, watching the line of action. I'm not too worried about how it's weighted right now. I just want this pose to look good. I need to see the other foot. There we go. Now it really looks like he's resting on there. Let's reset those hips. Really rotate those hips up. I'm going to reset that chest a little bit. I'm going to rotate him a little bit more like this. Get him down more on his stomach. I'm going to take this arm. Hopefully somebody has caught into what I'm going to be doing already. Reset that. Reset that. Bring that around. Bring that hand up and in. And that one. We need to bring that forward more. There we go. Bring that forward more. Up into his face. So I can rotate it out with this one. There we go. And as for the hand smacking sound that you're going to hear, it is actually going to be this hand. And he's just going to be slapping the shit out of the wood. Why? Oh, I probably don't have these ones as part of the right hand group. Whoops. Let's reset those. Bring that out. Let's actually reset that thumb too. So let's get that thumb rotated up and out. Let's get these fingers nice and flat. Okay, so they're flat-ish. Get them even flatter. There we go. Rotate those up. I'll rotate that down. Again, this is not a nice pose. This is an idea that I'm going to try out. And then I am going to fix it. And I'm even going to leave a sticky note on my friggin' monitor to remind myself to fix it. And he is going to be slapping this piece of wood with his hand. And that is going to be the sound that you hear when he's clapping. So it should probably be this one here. Follows the line of action better. Let's reset that shoulder. Let's get that elbow out. This should probably be out here a little bit more. Not too far out. And then these guys. Whew. I selected something and pressed F, and the camera went all crazy. Rotate these guys out. Spread that hand a little bit more. There we go. Let's just bring it out from the stomach a little bit. Fix his thumb, because it is going through his chest. That is not the thumb controller. That is. Rotate that thumb back. Rotate that. I always want to press my hotkey button. And it never works because my hotkeys from work don't work here. And I'm just going to pose out this thumb real quick. There we go. Rotate those down a little bit, rotate those down a little bit. The pinky usually follows its own thing. Pinkies are kind of ridiculous. I'm not going to have too much curl on the pinky though, because with this particular pose, there shouldn't be a lot of curl to the pinky, considering he's like controlling the hand and he's yelling into it. So it should have a little bit of curl to it, but not too much so that it looks like it's just the hand relaxed. There. Let's get a little bit more on that foot though. Let's see, where's that knee? There we go. Now is he actually resting on that wood? And he is. So what I can do is I can grab his satchel that he has on him, rotate it out, actually make it look like it's resting on that wood with him. Nice little piece of secondary that'll help sell the fact that he jumps up on top of that wood. And there. So what I've got that'll end up happening is...
Open the case, Karen. Woo! Woo! Karen! Open the case, Karen. Woo! Woo! Karen! Open the case.
So... this needs to come sooner. Oop, need to select all of it. Character all z. Character all z. I will make it green so I remember that that is all of them.
Open the case, Karen. Woo! Woo! Karen! Open the case.
Move that over. Let's see how that feels.
Open the case, Karen. Woo! Woo! Karen! Open.
There we go, I'm okay with that.
Open the case, Karen. Woo! Woo! Karen! Open the case, Karen. Woo!
Let's move that back one frame. There we go. Alright, so in an hour-ish, actually that's almost exactly an hour, I think. I could be wrong, it might be an hour, a couple of minutes. I've managed to get the way I want my camera to look in the beginning. I need to pose up, finish posing out the face a little bit though. I've got the idea that I want, but I do need to work on the face a little bit more. These eyebrows, I'm not a fan of the flick at the end. It kind of kills it for me. I don't like how thin they are. It's hard to express them. I probably might talk to the animator, the guy who created this rig, and see if there's if he has any tips on how to actually animate the face. I got my second pose. This one is going to completely change a little bit, mainly because of the mouth. I just wanted to get the expression in there, but because of the sound that he's going to be doing, this is going to be a big woo shape, so it's going to have a narrow mouth and it's going to be pointing out a lot. This one, same thing. He's going to have that narrow shape. I just wanted to get the expression of, you know, he's super happy and everything in here. And this one, as soon as I start adding in those hand slaps, there we go. So, hope some of that helps anybody who watches. This is how I'll start my shots usually. If I don't have boards, it sucks. If I don't have reference, I'll spend a good amount of time thinking about what I'm going to do with the character. That's why I haven't started those action shots with Deadpool and the monster and this guy yet, because I don't have a good idea of how I'm going to do it yet. So, basically I just brainstorm it, try and figure out what to do, how to do it, what the idea is, and what he's looking at. And right now he's looking at a chick, and he's very creepy about it. Yeah. Anyways, hope you